So one of the fun things about YouTube is that you get a lot of free stuff to try out, but then it also becomes a problem when it starts piling up. So rather than doing a review of all these random small things, I thought I'd do a mega review of a few of the things that I've been sent and have been bothering me, pestering me because I should do something with them, but I've just been so busy with this whole hiring thing. Speaking of, why don't I get... Matt, can you help me do my mega super review?
Yeah, I can.
That's what I pay you for, right? So. Matt's already working on the edit for the next... He's doing a really good job, but let's go shoot the mega review. You good with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we have some stuff here. We got a pair of headphones, a gimbal. Have you ever used a gimbal before? Like this?
Not like that, no.
You've used the other bigger ones, but yeah, not... Okay, so we have that phone gimbal thing. We have this random thing, another gimbal like DJI Osmo type thing. We got some monitors. I think this one we won't probably do today, but this one we can talk about. So you can see it's starting to pile up. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's head outside and we'll get to the reviews. All right, so let's start this mega review. We have a bunch of stuff to get to, and I thought I'd get Matt to kind of help me because I got him to use some of the stuff, and I'd love to hear some of your opinions on what you thought of these gimbals and stuff that we're reviewing. So we're gonna start off with the Zhiyun. How would you say it?
Zhiyun?
Zhiyun? I think that's probably that sounds about right. Zhiyun Smooth 4. This one's meant for phones, iPhones, whatever, Samsung, whatever you're using a phone. I still haven't found a gimbal that I really like, but you haven't actually used gimbals very much, right? Like
No.
I'm actually curious because I think that this is meant for beginners since it's for iPhones. So if you're probably not super into filmmaking yet. So as a person who's never used one, but you're not a beginner filmmaker, but you've never used one, how was your first experience setting it up and shooting with it?
It was a bit tough at first. I wasn't really sure how to like unlock it, and I didn't want to force anything. I didn't want to break it.
Yeah, he was using my gimbal, so he didn't want to you have to kind of force this out and stuff like that. But once you figured out it, setting up was pretty easy, right?
Yeah, it wasn't too difficult. There's no balancing, so that's nice.
Actually using it, so I got you to film me a little bit. How was it using it?
I actually had trouble doing the tilt.
We didn't read the manual at all. I looked up some videos, but we didn't read the manual. We didn't really know what mode we were in. It wasn't very clear. And so some of the axes would be locked and all of a sudden everything was locked. But one big thing I actually liked on the other ones that I've used is they don't have this button back here. So this button, you would hold it down and then it would unlock some of the axes. So if you wanted to, tilt up or tilt down, you'd press that button and then tilt it down and then you'd let go and it would stay at that position. I thought that was pretty cool. How did you?
Yeah, once we got the hang of it, it worked pretty good.
Yeah, you got some cool shots of me. It's like $180, so it's pretty cheap. This one had a lot of cool different features like object tracking and stuff from the other ones, but a new one that with this little dial, you can actually focus with this and then also do zoom with this, which was really interesting. I was curious to see how it was. We didn't play around with the focus too much, but we did play with the zoom, and then they have also the vertigo effect. Why don't you explain the vertigo effect that was built into this thing?
Yeah, so the effect is it's a digital zoom as you walk back.
So it's kind of a trippy, warpy. I've actually done a video on this.
You set 2 different points and it'll animate that zoom for you, and you can change the speed. And we were thinking it's useful if you're editing on your phone, because then you don't have those features on your computer. It's all in camera. You don't have to edit.
I was like, this is pointless. I'll just do it on my computer. But he makes a good point. If you're editing on your phone, you want to put it out on Instagram really quickly or whatever. It's built in. It's done for you. It's a really cool effect. So I kind of actually liked that. That was one of my favorite things. And in general, the zoom focus thing. That's pretty cool. I actually liked it. So yeah, I'd say this is probably I'd say it's the best iPhone phone gimbal that I've used. It must be the best one that you've used because it's the only one that you've used. So I really liked it. But again, I don't really film with phones. So for me, I wouldn't buy this, but that's just for me. I would buy a gimbal for an actual camera. But if you are looking for a gimbal for your phone, get this one, especially the white version. I kind of like the white version. I don't know about you, but next up we have the RemoView K1, and this is kind of like a camera and stabilizer gimbal built into one. So it's kind of like having a GoPro built into your gimbal, and then also with this little screen, which is pretty cool. We'll get to that in a bit. It's kind of like an Osmo competitor. Have you used the DJI Osmo ever?
I've played around with one.
I've actually never really used one, so I can't compare it to. Well, we can get your insight on it. It shoots 4K 30 frames per second, and I think even up to 240 frames per second. We didn't play around with the slow-mo too much, because for me, if you're gonna buy something like this, I feel like this is like a vlogging camera, essentially. Somebody, again, like a beginner who doesn't really wanna get into filmmaking, but wants a really nice, quick, easy way of filming themselves, or maybe filming some sports or something like that. Nice and simple, easy, not having to worry about the filmmaking side. I feel like that's what this is for. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? Like,
yeah, I mean, it was great right out of the box. There was no setup.
Simple controls, right? You were saying
simple. I liked how the user interface was. There was no confusion. It was very clear. Not a lot of clutter.
Yeah, I feel like that's really important. If this is made for kind of beginners, at least in my mind, it would be for beginners. It needs to be easy to use also, like menus and all that stuff. And we had no problems with figuring it out, even without looking the manuals once. It was really intuitive and worked easy. And a really cool feature I like that you just click the back button 3 times and then it switches to selfie mode. So it's filming forwards, you press it 3 times and it spins to you. And then I really like the fact that they added this little screen. You don't have to use like another iPhone or whatever hooked up to this. It's all built in. It's not the best screen, as you were finding out, but
yeah, like the footage, once you get it on the computer, it'll look a lot different.
I think it does the job, and that's really all that you need it for. If you had a big screen, this would be bigger, and you'd have downsides to that. Mm-hmm. So the screen is great. Potato Jet, if you guys haven't checked out Potato Jet, do you know who Potato Jet is?
No, I don't.
Potato Jet is another YouTuber, cinematographer guy. I think he's in like LA. He reviewed this thing I saw. He's a really good guy. You should check him out. I like his videos. It doesn't mirror the screen when you're filming yourself, which is kind of weird. You kind of usually want it to be mirrored. iPhones, everything usually mirrored. It's just more natural. Also, the sound it's all right, but they do give you an option of plugging in a mic, which is really good. I don't know if I think they make like a mic for here. So if it had a little shotgun mic here, this would be a really good little vlogging setup, I think.
It's kind of like that one step up from an iPhone.
Exactly. It's a little wide, so you're not gonna get the most cinematic stuff, especially because there's no shallow depth of field. But for vlogging, you don't even have to hold it too far from your face and you're getting everything, which is, I actually kind of liked using this. But again, I probably wouldn't use it too much. I'd just use my normal cameras to get a little bit better quality. The only big gripe I would say is that it doesn't film in 24 frames per second 4K. I feel like that's a really big misstep. That's kind of like it doesn't shoot video for me. Like I film in 24p all the time. So if it doesn't shoot in 24, it's not a very good thing. That was my biggest gripe, I'd say. But if you're looking for a nice, simple vlogging setup, this with a little microphone, I think will do you really good. And it's $550, so maybe it's a good price. I don't know. But yeah, it was decent. And then next up, we were reviewing this monitor. It's by Lilliput. I think it's called the 4K Camera Assist. It's like a little 5-inch monitor. What were your thoughts? You were using this more than I was. What were your initial thoughts on this monitor?
Well, I haven't used other similar monitors, but I did enjoy having that larger screen on top.
Yeah, I've used a small HD, for example. So just to compare, these are like kind of almost the exact same monitor size and everything wise, small HD and then this Lilliput. But this one is $180, whereas this one's like $600. So I think this does the job really well. The image was actually pretty good on here, but I'd say the big downside comes when you start going through the menus. Like if you want to get to something, it's not very intuitive and it's like you have to click through these little buttons. Whereas on something like the small HD, they have it a little bit more figured out. But it does have everything you pretty much need, like waveform and all that stuff in here. And once you've set up your monitor, you're kind of good to go, and you don't have to keep switching it anyways. So it's not a huge deal, but it is a downside. I think the menus, the UI could use a little bit of work. Also, the mount that it comes with is a little bit ghetto versus the small HD focus. You can, you don't have to even loosen, tighten anything, and it sits pretty nicely there. Plus it has this little mount for your microphone, so you could mount this on your camera and have the microphone. But again, $180 versus $600. It's a pretty big difference in price. You could buy 3 of these for that price. So it depends on what you need, I think, right?
Yeah, totally. It seems like a great budget monitor.
Yeah, I'd give this one a big thumbs up. If you need a budget monitor, and it makes a big difference having, like, even the difference here, this screen versus this screen makes a massive difference. Like seeing what's in focus, and especially if you're filming log on a Sony. Have you used Sony's much?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, so I used to have the Sony A7R II, and trying to focus in log with that LCD screen was horrible. You couldn't see anything. So you add a little monitor like this, and that's a really good combo. Still keeps the package pretty small. I would definitely recommend it for Sony cameras if you're trying to use their LCD screens. And last but not least, I haven't even unboxed this from Mezzi Audio. These are the 99 Classics Walnut. They look pretty nice, on this picture at least. We haven't unboxed this, so we don't know what it really looks like. But I thought I would give Matt the first listen since he's my new editor. Let me know if these are actually good or not. So let's unbox these. I'll give you the honors.
Yeah.
It's great having an editor. I've been loving these last couple of days. Matt's been helping me film some stuff and then also editing the videos, and it's been a really good collaboration so far. He sent me a version, I'd give him some feedback, and we'd go back and forth, and I feel like the videos are just gonna get better and better with this little collaboration. But unfortunately, Matt is not very good at unboxing things. So that's a bit of a downside.
I legitimately can't get this open.
I've been talking for like 5 minutes and he hasn't gotten anything open. We're both idiots. We've been trying to pull on it and it just pops open. It's just like magnetic on the side. Fancy case. All right.
Wow, yeah.
I like this little gold button thing. So far, so good. All right, open him up. I'll pull up some music for you to listen. Ooh, those look fancy.
Oh, I like how this is metal, not plastic.
Yeah, those actually look really solid. And I'm curious how they sound though. I hadn't heard of this company. They're just like, hey, you want to try out some headphones? I was like, sure, I'll send them over. So let's see. First listen. What kind of music do you listen to, Matt? This is a test.
Indie rock.
Okay, let's put some Laney. I don't even know how you say it. Do you know them?
I do.
Okay, there you go. We're on the same page. First impressions right here. You guys are getting it live. Well, not live. You're a few days later, but.
Sound pretty solid.
He's yelling. All right. Song's done.
I'd totally wear these.
Good? Sound?
Yeah.
Sound? Good?
I need you to take a listen.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. My first impressions are pretty good. They look really good and they sound good. So I'd give these thumbs up for these guys.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Thumbs up for these guys. I feel relieved that I've now reviewed these. I've done my job. Now you guys know. You guys have some information. I think it's time for you to get back to editing and for me to, I don't know, do what I normally do. All right, so that's it for the mega review. I hope you enjoyed the information. I feel relieved. I feel good knowing that I've done my job. I've told you guys about these products, told you guys my thoughts on them, and I think we're done here. I think you can go back to editing and I'll do what I do.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for this mega review, another unscientific review of some filmmaking gear. I hope you liked it. This episode was actually sponsored by Skillshare. It's kind of like an online learning platform community. There's a bunch of courses on all sorts of stuff, whether it's filmmaking or photography or graphics or business that you're interested in. There's just a lot of different courses on there. Highly recommend them. It's nice and cheap, and there's a free trial right now if you want to check it out in the link. In the description. Really like what the Skillshare guys are doing. And I also realized today, as I was talking to my wife earlier before I came to the office, that I've actually hit some of my really big goals that I set for this year already. And we're not even we're kind of like halfway through the year now. One of my big ones was getting an office. We have an office and the office is so good. It's still a little bit of a work in process, but we're getting there, but we have this. So fun, so great. And then another big one was hiring an editor, and now I have an editor, which is awesome. I'm just so excited about it. It's just, as soon as I told him that like you're hired, I felt so good driving home at that day. I was just like, yeah, it's just amazing. And then also another big goal that I haven't really talked to you guys about is I've always wanted to shoot like a full-length documentary. And I'm actually going to be shooting my first full-length documentary next week in Yukon with these guys. They're from Sweden. They run a channel called Creative North, and they've actually shot some other documentaries already. And their last big one was actually sold to Netflix. So super cool guys. They're really talented. I'm going to be with them. I'll tell you guys later what the documentary is actually about. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm really excited because that's one of my big goals that I've wanted to do for so long. So yeah, life is just good. I've been doing a lot of these thumbs up. I think that means I'm just in a really good mood. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I hope you like this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out Skillshare. See ya.